everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all well. As you can see by the thumbnail, this week I am creating a vision board. Now this is something that I haven't actually done before and is probably usually the sort of thing that you would do at the start of the year. However, given my current situation with just having finished my job in the RAF after nearly 13 years, which you've heard me bang on about now, and obviously starting my self-employed career path, I thought it's quite a fitting time for me personally to create my vision board now, halfway through the year. And actually, with it being halfway through the year, or just over halfway through the year now, I think it's quite a nice time for anybody to sort of reflect on their goals that they perhaps set themselves at the start of the year, and see where you're at with it. So this being said, I went back and I watched my video that I did at the start of 2021, setting myself goals for this year. Now, some of them I feel like I've made good progress on, and some of them I started off well with in the year, like we all do with our New Year goals, and I have let them slip. So I am getting back on board, and I found that so interesting to go back and watch that video, and it's given me sort of a bit of a kick up the bum to get back on track with some of them. But anyway, that's a little bit of a reflection on the video that I did at the start of the year. So if you have written down goals, which is something that I usually do, is write them down. If you've got them written down somewhere, because I'm sure not a lot of you have a video of yourself talking about your goals, but yeah, go and read your goals that you set yourself at the start of the year. I found that it's really reinvigorated me, and just reflect on them and maybe set yourself some new ones, or reading back on your old ones that you may not have achieved yet may reinvigorate you as well. Like I said, I am somebody that usually writes my goals down, and I still do that, and I still like to do that. However, I've always liked the idea of a vision board, being able to see pictures of your goals, what you want to achieve in your life. It doesn't have to be in that year. I feel like a vision board is sort of more long distance. I don't usually write goals down that aren't achievable within a year's sort of time frame, because I just feel like that's, I don't know, too far in the distance. Obviously I have the ideas and the goals in my head, but I really wanted to make it a visual thing and make it so that I can literally have it in front of me when I'm sat at my desk, which I'm sat at now. I can see it in front of me on a daily basis. So with that being said, I have got my pictures that I've printed off in preparation. I really like to use Pinterest to get the pictures for my sort of vision. I find Pinterest is inspo for everything. If you want to decorate your house, if you want meal ideas, if you want fashion inspo, Pinterest is literally my go-to for all sorts of things. And also, I was wondering for ages, like, what sort of board to do it on. I didn't want something too big, where it wouldn't be practical to have out on display all the time. So I just ordered a cork board off Amazon. I think it's like 40 centimeters by 30, so it's a decent size, and I actually got two of them and they weren't very expensive at all. If I can find them again on Amazon, I will link them in the description box down below. But I've seen people do their vision boards with like a nice big photo frame, so you've got the glass over it, but I just wanted something simple that I could just pin things to, and I can easily change things if I end up achieving some of them in the near future. And yeah, I just thought this was super easy and faff free. So without further ado, because I'm looking at the time and I've been talking for nearly 10 minutes now and haven't actually got on to making my vision board, let's get into making my vision board, and I will talk you through what's on it and why. On my vision board, I have got personal goals and work goals. Now I think I'm going to start with the work goals, because there's less of those, because I'm not sharing everything that I want to achieve, but I just picked out a few things that I would like to achieve when it comes to my new self-employed life. And I'm probably most nervous to share these ones with you than I am my personal ones. So let's get these done and out of the way. So one of the goals that I spoke about on my 2021 goals video, which I will link in the description box down below as well if you want to go and watch that, is getting another Tropic skincare promotion, obviously within my Tropic ambassador business. Now, for those of you that don't know, I've already had a couple of promotions and I am now a Tropic leader. The next stage for me is to become a senior leader. And that is what my first picture that I have printed out for my vision board is. Now it says on it, and I'll put it on the screen, it says congratulations on promoting to senior leader. And I feel like this is definitely within my grasp for this year, and this is what I'm working towards at the moment. So with that one, that is a short-term goal, and fingers crossed I'll do it this year. Looking beyond that promotion, I would obviously like to continue to progress with my Tropic business, and I have a couple of other squares as well for the next promotions, working my way up the ladder basically, but they are more next year and over probably the next 5 years, to be honest. So I'm popping a couple of those on my vision board as well. The end goal being to reach the top of the tree with Tropic skincare and be a diamond executive. Now that is a goal that's going to take me several years to achieve, and actually I have set myself a goal with that to achieve by the time I am 40. I am now 33, so that is a long-term goal, but I'm popping it on my vision board so that I see it every day, and I'll keep manifesting it, and it will stay on my board until it's achieved. I don't know if it's picking that up on the camera, but I just heard some thunder. I'm just thinking, I don't know if Arnie's heard thunder before. I might have to go and check on him if that gets louder. There's no rain yet, but I'm sure it's about to come and it's gonna ruin my video. One last goal that I have to do with my Tropic business that's on my board, and actually I don't have a picture of this to put on the screen because this is a booklet that Tropic Skincare sent me earlier this year. Tropic, throughout the year and every year, they do amazing incentives. Whether it's my Tropic fridge that I have, whether it's a Tropic headband, whether it's a diary, or whether it's a big luxury 5-star trip abroad, they do amazing incentives for their ambassadors to work towards if we choose to. It's absolutely not something that we have to go for, but for somebody like me who loves everything Tropic and wants a Tropic diary, wants a Tropic fridge, wants a Tropic headband, they are a great motivation, and it just feels like Christmas every time I get one in the post, and it gives me a real sense of achievement once I've got one. So for somebody like me, it really motivates me. One of the incentives that I haven't achieved yet since I started with Tropic is one of their luxury 5-star trips abroad, and they are amazing. Now I've put this booklet on my vision board. If you can see that, the trip of a lifetime. Now this trip was announced earlier this year because it's Tropic Skincare's 10-year anniversary in 2023, and because obviously the trips that they had arranged over the last year or two had to be postponed. They're going big for their 10-year anniversary, and they announced in April that the trip in 2023 is going to stop at 4 places, and it's basically going back to where Susie Ma started with her Tropic journey, to starting her business from where she was born in Shanghai, moving from Shanghai on to Singapore, which looks like an amazing, beautiful city, and is literally leading the way with sustainability and would be amazing to go to. Following that, they're going on to Cairns in Australia, which is obviously where Susie Ma lived for a long time with her mum before she moved to London. And then they're moving on to, finally, Sydney in Australia. Now, this is obviously a particular trip for 2023. And although I'm going to go for it and see what happens, a trip with Tropic Skincare I would love to get on. And I mean, all of their trips are a trip of a lifetime. They would be a trip of a lifetime for me. Yeah, that is one of my goals for, I'd say, within the next couple of years. I would love to get on a Tropic luxury trip of a lifetime. So moving away from Tropic Skincare, my Tropic Skincare business, reluctantly, but we are moving away from it. Another work related goal that I have is YouTube. Now, when I started YouTube, I started it as a bit of fun. I wanted to start taking home videos for me and Carl, because when I was younger, my parents always had home videos, and we have those videos now to look back on. Obviously, with me knowing that me and Carl would have a future together and would possibly one day have a family, I wanted to buy my own camera and start doing videos myself. And I started with 2 videos that I've never published to YouTube. One was a canoeing trip that I went on with Carl and my dad, and another one was Christmas that I spent with Carl, my parents and my grandparents in the Gower in South Wales, in a cabin by the sea, and it was amazing. Yeah, so that's kind of how I got started on YouTube, and I thought another thing that I would like to do is to be able to show people a bit more in depth of the products that I use, obviously with Tropic, how I use them, makeup looks that I do on myself. And I never really thought it would go anywhere, and I've been proved wrong. A lot of you message me and tell me how helpful my videos are, how much they've helped you, and that makes me so happy. And YouTube has turned into something that I absolutely love. And I mean, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't have done it for the last year and a half whilst I was working in the RAF as well as my Tropic business. You know, it's given me a lot of work to do, but I absolutely love it. And that's why I've posted a video every single week for the last year and a half. And with that said, you may have noticed now that I do have adverts in my videos, which means that my channel has now been monetized, which is amazing. That is a goal that I never set myself, and that is something that has really surprised me, that I've achieved. And I'm now thinking, well, if I can achieve that, then what else can I achieve with YouTube? And something that I think would be an amazing achievement, and even me saying it now, I find myself not embarrassed, but I feel like this is such a massive, massive goal that I'm trying to think positively, because I'm thinking of how I'm speaking, like that I may never achieve it, but I'm putting it on my vision board anyway, and you never know. I'm gonna just cut to the chase because I'm skirting around this one, but I'll put the picture up here. I've got it in front of me. It's basically when you get to 100,000 subscribers. I know, I'm sat at 1,000 at the moment, but when you get to 100,000 subscribers, YouTube sends you a plaque, which is here, which would have your name on it, and obviously for getting to 100,000 subscribers. And I think that is the first milestone, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is the first milestone that you get a plaque from YouTube. I know you get other ones, obviously the higher up you go over 100,000, sorry, but I'm just setting my sights on 100,000. I mean, to be honest, I'm just setting my sights on 2,000 now, but I thought I would, you know, dream big and everything, so I'm popping that on my vision board, and it's going to stay there for as long as it needs to, and you never know. we may get 100,000 people interested in watching my Tropic skincare videos. Crazier things have happened, right? Okay, so moving away from my work related goals altogether, yes, the heavens have now opened, so if you can hear that rain, I'm really sorry. In fact, let me shut this window. Yeah, if you can hear the patter of rain, yeah, the heavens have opened outside now, and it's chucking it down. Haven't heard any more thunder, but it's chucking it down outside. Good old English summer weather, eh? Personal goals. Now, I have quite a few of these, and some of them I'm pretty sure are going to happen. So let's start with those ones. Now, my first one, obviously, as you'll know, I am getting married in April next year. And before this, I have made a vision board before, but just on Pinterest. So I made a Pinterest board on my phone, and I put some photos on that board maybe a year ago now. And this is one of the photos that I had on my board. And I've printed it out and it's going on my vision board. Obviously, Carl, since I had that picture on my vision board, Carl has proposed, so it's kind of come true. But I thought, as we're not married yet, I would put it on my vision board as well. I obviously think about us getting married a lot, seeing as we're sort of counting down to it and planning for it. But I still feel like I can't quite believe it, that we are getting married, and I am so excited about the day that we get married. It's unreal, and I feel like I get emotional thinking about it. So I'm gonna move swiftly on. A couple of other pictures that are on my vision board to follow the wedding, which is definitely not a certainty, but is a honeymoon. And these two pictures are what I dream of. We would love to go to the Maldives, and my dream is to stay on one of those huts with stilts. Maybe not as extravagant as the one in this picture, but just a hut on stilts where you can step down into the water first thing in the morning, literally bikini on, step down into the water and swim straight as soon as you've woken up. I would absolutely love that, and that is my dream. And if we make it to the Maldives, you know, it's not just down to me and Carl, it's down to everything at the moment, as you're all well aware. But if we get there, I am definitely going to take a picture like this one whilst we're there. So these two pictures are going on my vision board. And also we love the idea of stopping off somewhere on the way. So to have a bit more of a lively few days before we get to the Maldives and have a relaxing time, we'd love to stop at Vegas. Now, Carl has been to Las Vegas with work. He went year before last for a couple of months. I know, with work, a couple of months he went to Las Vegas. But obviously going with lads and work, it's not the same as going with me. It's not as much fun, obviously. So he would love to go back and experience it with me, and obviously I've never been, so I would love to go there. We think stopping at Las Vegas for a few days would be amazing, and then fly on to the Maldives, maybe a week, to relax in the Maldives. Coming away from wedding and honeymoon, obviously me and Carl are living in military accommodation at the moment, which we are happy to for the foreseeable. It's very well priced compared to renting a house in Civvy Street, and it allows us to save for our wedding, and then following that it will allow us to save for our own home. As I've mentioned before, I do have my own flat which I rent out as well, so that will also help us when we buy a house together. But we are always looking on Rightmove and dreaming about the house that we'll have one day. So my next few pictures are of my dream house, our dream house. And this is the kind of house that I imagine. And this is the kind of house that I would love, love, love to live in one day. I love those sort of houses that look like bungalows that have been renovated into this kind of house. Carl loves the double garage, the big driveway, and I just love how pretty it looks. And there looks like there's going to be enough rooms to have our master bedroom with an ensuite and a walk-in wardrobe, my dream, my very own office, so it doesn't have to be a spare room and an office at the same time, and we can have that open plan kitchen that we would love. And obviously buying a house together is something more long term, buying our dream home. It might not be the first house that we buy together, but we are going to buy our dream home obviously one day, and that's going on my vision board for however long it needs to. Another picture that's going on my vision board that if you follow me on Instagram you will have seen already, but if you don't then you won't know about it. Me and Carl would love to buy ourselves a camper van, and we've talked about this a lot more. We've talked about this over the last few years, but more so recently, and we've even been to look at them. This is something that is perhaps a next year thing after our wedding and honeymoon. Yeah, we've gone and had a look at them, and we love the idea because I grew up, my parents had a motor caravan, and even weekends felt like, you know, we would go camping on a weekend, so they felt like mini holidays. I remember going camping for a month in through France, and we just had the best time. We were always outside, and I just think I had the best childhood, and I think a lot of that was down to always feeling like we were going away all the time, and it was amazing. We did things and went to places that we would never have been if we didn't have a motor caravan, and although to some people it might have been strange that we only had a motor caravan for such a long time, you know, that was our only mode of transport. I remember when, like, even Carl laughs now, like when he says, your mum used to drive your motor caravan to Tesco's and do the food shop. I was like, yep. And yeah, like me and Carl would love to get a motor caravan. This is the one we have, sort of one we have in mind. We love the VW campers, and obviously with the, oh, what's the roof called? I called it a pop-up roof to my dad, and he was like, Charlotte, it's not a pop-up roof. What is it called? He's gonna be screaming at this video now. I can't remember. He's gonna be shouting at me anyway, and I'm sure he'll write it in the comments. But you know what I mean, a pop-up roof, that's what it looks like. We'll obviously need one of those because Carl's would not be able to stand up in a normal van. I mean, I don't think I would be able to in one of those vans anyway. Last but not least, I absolutely loved this picture that I found on Pinterest. Now, obviously, we already have Arnie. Arnie is already in our lives, and I just thought that dog on there looked exactly like him. And obviously, me and Carl would love a family of our own, and I just thought that was adorable. I absolutely love Christmas, and yeah, having a little one that's a mixture of me and Carl, yeah, would be, I don't know, I feel a bit awkward talking about this because it's quite a personal thing, but yeah, once we're married, maybe we will be lucky enough one day to have our own family. So that's going on the vision board too, to finish it off nicely. Now I've talked your ear off about all of my work and life goals, I'm gonna pop my vision board together and show you the finished article.
You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire.
And there you go, there is my completed vision board. That looks like a pretty good life, doesn't it? And I think I'm going to put it on my new IKEA unit that I showed you in my last video. I'm going to pop it on the side there so that when I'm sat here at my desk, which is where I'm sat now, I can see it every day because it's not too big. It will fit on there just nicely, or I could even just pop it on the windowsill, to be fair. But yeah, I think just somewhere over there so that I can see it on a daily basis when I'm sat at my desk will be ideal. I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed this little insight into my mind. Let me know what goals and aspirations you have. I'd love to hear I think it's because I'm nosy, really. I would love to hear what your personal goals or your work related goals are. As always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, as it really does help my channel out, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, as that really helps my channel out as well. And I will see you in the next video on Wednesday evening. Bye.